Thomas was diagnosed with a brain tumour in 2007, and our worlds basically fell apart at this time. My son had started some radiation treatment, which was 20 minutes away from where we were living in Denver. He was really upset in the car. He was very traumatised by the car trip. And I just had a brief conversation with Paula, Executive Director at There With Care, about kind of what had been going on. And the next thing I knew, the next morning there was a taxi cab on our doorstep at 8 a.m. We went through 4 weeks of radiation every day, and I have nothing but the best memories of going out to the hospital because I was able to hold Thomas in the back of the taxi.
Families are not just a number here at There With Care. They're an actual name with stories. They're people just like us. They're moms and dads with kids that all of a sudden they're walking down the grocery store aisle and their child falls on the floor and can't get up. They get a diagnosis that their child has a brain tumor and their whole life is turned upside down.
Grace was 8 years old and she was diagnosed with leukemia. This just doesn't happen in normal life. I was urged to call Paula, said to call her for anything, and anything came up right before we were released from the hospital, and I realized that my daughter had a very low blood count, so she had basically no immunities, and we were going to be coming home to a home full of dog hair and germs everywhere, and I panicked. In every respect, There With Care is There With Care, with incredible warmth, just crossing their T's and dotting their I's. They catch you when you fall.
Yeah, and they were just really there.
Whatever is stressful for the parent, we try to do. It's never just a bag of groceries that you deliver. It always delivers care. You know, how do you take a sick child into the grocery store with 2 other kids?
The sick child is back in hospital and the mum's got 2 others. So she's under a lot of time pressure at the moment. So I'm putting some frozen stuff in there, sort of ready prepared.
When you come to the door and you bring food, it's not unusual to see a parent with tears streaming down their face.
You know, they are there behind the scenes, and that to them is as more important than being in front of the scenes. The humility of that is extraordinary. Patients and their families are surrounded by these volunteers who just from their gut do the right thing.
I can always depend on There With Care to help me in a crunch. You can't purchase that kind of immediate response and care.
Come from a place where sort of no job is too hard or too big or too overwhelming. You give them a referral and you think they can't get this one done, but they could. They'll do little things like help moms fold laundry and big crisis work.
When I first started, I had never come across a program like There With Care and could not believe the services that they provided our families.
One of the things I've done as a volunteer is coordinate the soup station down at Presbyterian St. Luke's Hospital. What we do there is provide soup to the families who are visiting a sick child in the pediatric ward or a baby in the NICU. It's amazing the smile you can get out of a parent when you hand them a cup of soup and some crackers and a cookie. They're so thankful to have someone who cares about them when they're in a time when they're completely focused on their baby.
There With Care amazes me with all of the things that they do for our families and our patients and even our staff here at PSL.
There With Care has been amazing for our patients. We just love having a resource to call when we have families who really need help with just the basics like food, groceries, meals, rides, transportation.
We really appreciate all the businesses that work with us. It's a nice way for them to help, and it makes a big difference. So when we need a car fixed for a family, we find a mechanic that lives near that family, and they're actually helping someone in their neighborhood.
I love working for the people at There With Care and helping them do what they do. They're a really good example of community spirit and helping other people.
Together, we are able to hand the keys back and get the parent back on the road, getting to treatments, getting their children where they need to be, normalizing their life just a little bit.
And I have the ability to help, and that feels really good.
I help coordinate an event called Give Hair with Care. Just a really wonderful way for us to be able to give back.
It was a variety of people, about 30 people who came together to shave their heads and cut their hair and donate their hair to a variety of charities and raise money for There With Care.
Glad to help out.
We can make any sort of, difference in the community. We want to do that. It's very important to us. I feel great about it. I feel really good.
Care is being there for someone when they really need it, when they don't expect it, and when it's really just coming from your heart.
Care is thinking from the perspective of another person and really thinking about what it is that they need.
It's loving. It's being loving, giving people time to be together and time to enjoy each other.
For me as a volunteer, it just comes from my heart and caring for people who may not have anything and they may not know who I am, but I'm here and I care.
That's where it all starts, is like from this part inside of your heart that is so deep that you don't even know it's there. When people come here with that idea in mind, and when there's a bunch of people that have that same idea in mind, magical things happen.